All right. So we got to throw the coin 6 times to get this numerology
This is
business.
the first
We got
time that we've
tails
done
and
this for me.
heads. Yeah, it's coming up more often. It's something I used to do a lot more, and it's coming back around, and time to use the I Ching more. So I thought it was interesting that it came up for tonight because yeah, long story of synchronicities to that's too much. All right, so we do need to focus on your question though
Okay.
while we throw the coin. So I've already thrown them once, and we just want to focus on clarity for Heather. And you say it out loud. So it's clarity for what I want and guidance for learning to dance with others in my feminine flow.
Oh my God, hold on. I'm gonna have to write that down.
I know, right? You know what I do? I have it right here. I'll share the screen and y'all can see how I do this reading. Okay, so let's see. I think that'll work. Let's see. Okay, can you see it?
Okay, clarity for what I want and guidance for learning to dance with others in my feminine flow. Do I need to be uncrossed or anything?
No,
Okay.
just focusing on this desire and this, and for the next, I didn't write that in there, the next 3 months, but we've already said it out loud, and it's
Right. Okay.
another word for the I Ching is a little book that tells the truth. So
Hmm.
it's a lot like asking your higher self, but it also is very rooted in numerology
Mm-hmm.
and in the like Terence McKenna's time wave theory fits with the I Ching. It's really interesting. So yeah, we're
Cool.
focusing on clarity for what Heather wants and guidance for learning to dance with others in her feminine flow. We got heads, tails, tails. Okay, so we're going to build a hexagram. It's going to tell us, give you some guidance and wisdom, and also it'll tell you like pitfalls to avoid, like ego traps and stuff like that that are like, okay, this is something to watch out for, Right,
Okay.
heads, tails, tails. All right, say it out loud, Heather. Clarity for what I want. Can you see it?
Yep. Clarity for what I want and guidance for learning to dance with others in my feminine flow.
All right, heads, tails, heads. Two more
Should I say it
times.
again?
Sure.
Clarity for what I want and guidance for learning to dance with others in my feminine flow.
All right, we got 3 tails in a row, which means you got a moving line. So that's going to give us a little more information. All right, one
Clarity
more
for what I
time.
want, clarity
Yeah.
for what I want, and guidance for learning to dance with others in my feminine flow.
Tails, tails, heads. This is the most appropriate hexagram for Heather at this time with the 5th changing line. All right, it's muscle testing strong too. So let's see, hexagram 18. All right, repairing the damage. All right, so we got several translations to look at, and it really speaks in, well, it uses symbols of nature. So in some ways it's kind of like Native American traditions or like animal totems, and like some of those symbols of north, south, east, west and stuff like that mean different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go through this. So you've got, like I said before, sometimes when you've got a moving line, that red line, which
Mm-hmm.
is you had all tails or all heads. It
Mm-hmm.
is the dragon moving line is all heads, and then tails is earth, I think. So that is the right. Yes, earth and dragon are the two that have a little more influence and power. in the system of divination. Okay, so this is good news. Supreme success. Before crossing to the far shore, consider the move for 3 days. Okay, so this is one of those warnings, like really think, right? 3 days is symbolic, that's not literally, right? But we're talking about 3 months, right? We asked for 3 months. So maybe that's, it's good to, your one message that I think is always consistent for you is patience, grasshopper, right?
Yes.
Like consider the move for 3 months is okay. Like it's okay to just like really chew on it and even, explore a few different things during that 3 months. Doesn't mean don't do nothing, but it just means, you don't have to make any big commitments. You don't have to, like, I don't know.
Oh my God. This is speaking to me a lot about this romantic relationship and a lot of realizations that I've had about it. So yeah.
Yeah. So it'll apply to that and it'll apply to all your relationships. I think this
is good for moving forward because I'm really starting fresh with supporting myself and those options, and I'm starting fresh with my business. And so, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So repairing the damage is the translation in both copies that I have here. And then let's just look at this original English.
I think that said something about like after crossing the shore. Are we still before that, or? So it was saying after,
so we're on the same hexagram, number 18, which, so here the translation is decay, work on what has been spoiled. So it's repairing the damage, right? That means the same thing. Yeah, so when you work on what has been spoiled, you have supreme success. After the starting point, 3 days. So that, there's that. This is the,
the other one was saying
about the pause.
Yeah.
Right.
It said 3 days to repair after landing on the shore.
The wind blows low on the mountain, which is the image of decay. The superior person stirs up the people and strengthens their spirit. So this is like the time of, really kind of circling the wagons, right? And, rallying the troops, whatever your support system is, right? Mm-hmm. Connect with that and then go inward, right? And that's what that kept coming up for me when we were talking before, is that filling your cup, always making sure that your cup is filled in this flow, right? In this dance.
Right.
Okay, so I like the, oh wait. Okay. All right, so winds sweep through the mountain valley. The superior person sweeps away corruption and stagnation by stirring up the people and strengthening their spirit. Okay, so before crossing to the far shore, consider the move for 3 days. After crossing, devote 3 days of hard labor to damage control. So this is like also preparing for a big voyage, right? Like, we got to make our plans, then we're going to cross. But then once we get there, we got to set up camp and we got to, we got to get ready for some work. Mm-hmm. Right? Or maybe like the work after the storm. That's another way to look at it. Like you prepare when you know the storm's coming, you weather the storm, and then afterwards you repair the damage. But you're blessed with an opportunity to resuscitate that which others have abandoned as beyond repair. The ruin wasn't caused by evil intention, but by indifference. So just by addressing yourself to the problem, you exhibit a new awareness, a fresh perspective. It's a time of recovery, renewal, and regeneration. This really does sound like a perfect card for kind of where you are in your life.
Yeah, I'm seeing it applying to several different areas, both of like this whole transition, and then also in the kind of birth of this new business. So
I'm just going to give you one more little translation. So, and it's an exciting card to me. When I get this card, it's like, oh, awesome. Except, oh my God, we got all this work to do.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a, it's an interesting card or hexagram. All right. Supreme success will result if you take bold action to remove or repair the damage caused by previous mistakes. A major move or journey is greatly favored, right? But major moves take preparation and then, afterwards. So 3 days hard thought before and 3 days hard work after are needed to ensure what went wrong before does not happen again. So that's about doing it more consciously this time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got a big do-over in life, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I have like this whole fresh start going.
All right. So the moving line is so what the first hexagram is where you are now, kind of what has come before, everything, like culminating into this moment. And then the moving line, the fifth line, is a message. Says, setting right the father's ruins, the son receives honors. So this is about being a cycle breaker.
Okay.
Right? A son striving to deal with inherited problems wins praise and support and will not be blamed for the situation. Right? None of this is our fault. This is all stupid programming that humans have done to each other. And, we've created these horrible patterns and habits that have not served us.
Right.
They've just served to cause abuse and, horrible, horrible things. So, yeah. This is exciting.
I can see this applying to a couple of different areas as well, both in the light that I shine and helping people to find their light and breaking that cycle of just people not being awake, but then also more on a personal level of just, the cycle of scarcity, living in scarcity, the cycle of living as a victim to circumstance, and that's, that's, global also, right?
Yeah. This is micro and macro. It's so interesting how these readings are so, timely. It's all about divine timing. It's all about just this, we're riding the wave.
Right.
All right. So the moving line, is confirmation, you're on the right path. You're doing the right things, right? You're being the cycle breaker that you need to be. And this is encouragement, right? You receive the honors for not letting your spirit be broken after all of the fucked up shit that happened to you, and starting over, and this is courage. This is a badge of courage, right? That you're receiving in this moment, right? So that's the kind of the middle of the reading. And then the last hexagram, which is transformed, the moving line becomes something different. And so you get the penetrating wind. Small, persistent, focused effort brings you success. Seek advice from someone you respect. So this is good. This is this is your, the next 3 months, right? You're taking your steps, even if it's baby steps, that's cool. It's all going to bring success. We might not see it right away, but it's happening. And you're already doing it, right? You're connecting with others who are kind of, on this path too. And so, yeah, right on. So it says gentle persuasion is key in this instance. Though the words are soft, we're in this feminine energy again, right? Their speaker must be firm, calm, and confident. So think about the mother that uses soft words, soft energy, but calm and confident, no, we're not getting ice cream. Sorry. You can do it in that,
Yeah.
Wordless influence by example is also effective in the situation. That's huge in the feminine energy, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
persuasion
that's
should be almost unfelt, yet consistent and persistent. So this is about flipping. This is not just like, oh, I'm going to learn to be a better listener and I'm going to kind of hold my tongue if somebody's not asking for advice yet. This is about like, you're still there with your present. Like if you know something to help somebody, of course you're like, it might not come out of your mouth, but it's going to come from your energy. And it's,
right.
like, and this is about learning how to do that, right? Shifting
Yes.
that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ask
Yes.
for feedback from someone you know to be an effective persuader. Perfect. Right? So that's a great, just find the people that you feel like are effective persuaders in that way, right? In that feminine energy.
I don't think I know anyone other than you. I don't know. I don't,
You'll
unfortunately, the
you'll
women in my
start to
family.
notice.
I probably will. And what will
You'll
happen is that
start
the
to,
universe will bring me some.
yeah. Oh yeah, totally. Yep. Gentle words are worthless if spoken with trepidation. So that's that whole like, so gosh, this is like such an interesting, like if you think of it just from the perspective of being a mother, like just that example, because
I was just thinking, I don't have that issue. I don't ever speak in trepidation. I don't have the gentle, I don't
right,
have the
right, right, right.
calm,
No,
soft
no,
part
I
of
know.
it.
But this is what was hard for me in making that, because I'm the same as you, right? I'm going to say it and I'm going to like, here it is. And I don't
Yeah,
want to hear you complaining about that anymore, because here's some solutions for it. Right.
exactly.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
that's not always received well. Right. So, yeah. So in my adventures of learning how to, do this dance and especially like, with your husband or your children, you do have to have this gentle persuasion always, right? You always kind of have to be like, okay, we're going to keep moving forward. We're not going to sit and watch TV all day today. We're going to like do some shit, like there's always has to be some, like, it's just,
Yeah.
so that's why I guess I keep coming back to this mother energy. But so I have always been a student of like looking at mothers and seeing which ones are effective and what, and like, you could be a yeller and be effective, and you can be really soft spoken and be effective. You can,
Yeah.
but both have to be done with like this confidence,
Right.
and it's not authoritarian, it's authoritative. It's like, okay,
Right.
these are my boundaries. This is what's, like, yeah. And
Actually, I have found myself, since I've been embodying the feminine energy more, I have found myself noticing like when I had laryngitis and the most that I could do was whisper anyways. Like I wasn't able to get that stern, hard voice that I get with the kids. But they still like just through the energy, they were like, oh, okay. Like,
your eyes.
yeah.
You have your daggers that come out of your eyes.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I've actually been seeing that a little bit too, and I have been
Using your
conscious.
voice as an opportunity to embody that other energy more.
Right.
Right? Every time I lose my voice, I'm always like, okay, yeah, I got to remember to use it less.
Yeah.
And use the other stuff more, because the other stuff is more powerful. They tune
Right.
you out anyway. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This is a good one.
I wonder, I don't know how much it fits into this, but it's been coming to me too.
I'm going to take some screenshots, because this is,
yeah, definitely do,
good
because I
to
want
look at it. Like, look at it once a month during these 3 months to really, or
I'll probably look at it more
once a
often than
week.
that.
I don't know. I mean, this is
Yeah.
like, yeah. And the reading I just did for my birthday is definitely one that I'm printing out, and, because it really was that kind of overview of my life, kind of, this is where you are now. And like looking
Right.
forward, let's, here's where we're going, Tina.
Yeah.
All of these cards, all of these hexagrams, none of them is like a good one or a bad one, or a favorable one or a positive one or a negative one. They just describe situations in life. And there just so happen to be 64 situations that in combination with all the moving lines and everything, you can describe, all the human experience.
Right. It's been coming to me that I need to be more focused and present, which is one of the things that I'm going to be working on when we start this challenge on October 1st. But yeah, I'm seeing, especially with my kids, that I need to be more focused and really just powerfully present with them.
Absolutely. That's a huge, it's a huge thing in life, but just for parenting.
I feel like with technology and phones and these distractions, it's gotten so big. I know that my kids are like, you're always on the phone, for both of us, because
Asking for your attention. Yeah. Yeah.
They see that they don't get as much attention as those things do, and I know it, and I still have a hard time with it. I really need to
it's parenting is a mindfulness practice. If you're, not just going through life mindlessly, but parenting will show you everything you need to look at about your habits and your, like where you put your attention. Because you don't notice, I don't even notice the words that come out of my mouth until I hear my kids say it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shit, I do say that every time I do whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear them say it and you're like, don't say that. And then you're, oh, I know where you got it from. Sorry about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Even if it's not, don't say that. Even if it's just like some saying they say or something, like that. I don't even notice that I'm saying.
It is wonderful when you hear them repeating something that you've said, when you hear them pick it up and it's a nice thing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, you got that. Yay.
Right? Oh, yeah. Thank goodness for those moments.
I did something.
Did I do the screenshot? I don't think I did. For some reason, I can't. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I'm getting your screenshot but I can't get the question. I'm just going to do the question first and with the date. And then we'll get the hexagram. Yeah, I Ching is like I think you can benefit from revisiting, any of these kind of sessions that you do in your notes from any of these kinds of sessions that you do. Cause I'll find them randomly, and like totally it'll just be like the thing I needed to see from 3 years ago that
Right.
whatever helps me release whatever the next thing is. But I Ching, I think, is even like better like that. Like it's mind blowing how accurate and but also how gentle it is, with its wisdom. And it's like, you look back on it and it's like, oh, wow. Like they kind of said it nicely. Like, I really did need to check my ego in that situation or, like whatever the thing was. Like, it's a really interesting.
Yeah, this is good. I'm glad that you're taking the screenshots, because I'll definitely, come back and mull over this. And I can already see that I'll be having, shifts and perspectives on it and new clarity on it as I move through the next 3 months. So.
And you can look, if you go to ichingonline.net, you can look, like click on this, read original text.
Mm-hmm.
You can find that. You don't have to have a membership. And I think it's actually a free one for like the first 6 months. And then after that, it's like $18 a year. So it's worth it, because then you can save your readings and come back and look at them. But if you don't want to do that, you can just look. And if you want to read this original text, and then I already kind of, the translations weren't so different on these. Sometimes the word choice, in one of the different translations will really like hit me in a certain way. And so I like to look at several different ones. The oldest text that they call original there, the original English, is much more wordy, and it's good information, but I don't know. look at it that much unless I'm really like wrestling with the reading and trying to, you know, figure out the meaning or whatever, how it applies.
Okay.
But let's do, just for the end of the reading, let's just do, they've got the 64 situations of life, each hexagram boiled down to one sentence. Okay, so you started with 18, so we're repairing the damage. Where's 18? Act boldly. Repair the damage, making a journey if need be. And it's
that making the journey thing is hitting me in a few different ways, and I'm not really sure.
No, listen, it's a metaphorical thing. It's a project.
Yeah. I'm trying
like, yeah, you don't know what it is yet. It's gonna make itself known. But yeah, so the 3 days, is that what it's going to next? Take the greatest.
Well, apparently I'll see it coming because I'll have time to prepare, right?
Well, I mean, it's telling you to take time to consider. Take the greatest care to ensure that what went wrong before doesn't happen again. This is about breaking the patterns, right? Breaking the cycles. We're doing it again better this time.
Right.
And then and then you get the badge of courage, the Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
For all of the cycle breaking.
Pat on the back.
Right. And then the transform situation is 57, was it? Yeah. Okay, so it just says greater dedication is needed. Be more confident, for the winds are favorable. So that was the one about baby steps, finding a mentor.
Actually, that's helpful. Be more confident because the winds are favorable. But I can feel it. I've started to feel a release and a shift in flow. I've started to feel that. So I was kind of already that way anyways. I was feeling that, but I was still having a little bit of trepidation about it. So that's helpful.
So yeah, so this card, it's a favorable result, right? The small, persistent, focused effort brings success. The wind is in your sails, but it's not, the I Ching is suggesting that it's not going to be like super easy, super quick, super like the way you're used to, right? Is that masculine energy of bing, bang, get it done, check off the list, like you are a get shit done kind of girl. And that's absolutely valuable in this world. But right now, it's not time for that.
Right.
And especially for you and for a lot of people, right? Anybody watching it along that is relating to this is a very, whether you're a man or a woman, this feminine, we're learning how to work with our feminine energy and learning how to bring it, more to the forefront in our creative process. And so a lot of us are going through this at this time and, have been working with this. And what was I going to say? Oh, about the wind in your sails.
Yeah, the wind is in my sails, but it's not like a full-blown wind that's going to be like pushing me forward, super quick and easy.
Not the quick, right. Not the quick thing. Yeah, this is about
it's like a breeze in my sails.
Yes. And, and the swing dancing analogy keeps coming up for me. So I'm just going to share it now since we're recording this, but learning to follow on the social dance floor. Like I was just talking to somebody about how it was first of all, it's a meditative process. You learn how to listen with something besides your ears. There's like all these, it was very much a lesson for me in being present in the moment, to be receptive to whatever stimulus I was getting. Right. And if it was somebody that was off the beat and didn't know how to lead, like, that was an experience though, that I had to like make it through for 3 minutes and like figure out how to just somehow have fun and like, dance and like, even if they didn't know what they were doing, like whatever. Right. It's like there's like this whole metaphor for life that I'm sure people have written books about it before, but this feminine energy so when you're on the social dance floor and you have this a partner that's not maybe following the music or doesn't know how to do the basic step, there are ways, subtle ways, that you don't even have to say anything, and you can kind of backlead, they call it. There's a name for it. Backleading. And so you can kind of help your partner get on the beat a little bit sometimes if they're willing to listen, right? Because they also have to be kind of open and receptive to your nudges and your, you know,
right.
And so, and usually beginners are, you know, pretty open, especially, you know, if you're like a more experienced dancer or whatever. Right. So that's what keeps coming to my mind as we're talking about this, is this analogy of, you know, learning how to back lead.
Yeah.
Right? You're not doing the overt leading like the way that the lead in the social dance does with the, you know, I'm going to give you this thing and I'm going to raise my arm and push you on, you know, like not that kind of, that's the masculine energy. Right.
Yeah.
No, it's this like, oh, you're like really late on the beat. Like, I'm going to be really firm and confident in my, you know, doing the steps right on the beat, so that maybe you can like pick up on my thing, my rhythm, and join me. Right. But it's not in any way like, okay, now do the beat this way, you know, like doing it in that masculine energy. So that the dance analogy is coming up a lot, and I'm thinking I'm just going to have to surrender to that and just use it. And we're going dancing night lately, so people need to come out and just learn how to do this. I'm learning how to lead now.
Yeah, I was feeling like I was completely understanding what you were saying, but I was like, yeah, so I was like, I don't know how to do that at all. So yeah, that'll be a trial and error thing. But then I realized that it just hit me actually that I do. And part of the way that I've learned that was when you were saying like, I'm just going to do this really confidently. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but that's standing in your own power. So it's that thing that I've been learning and exploring of stating my boundaries without requiring anything of anyone else. Just simply, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to do.
Yes.
You know, this is for me.
Yes.
And whatever that means for you, that means for you, you know? So, I definitely, I think that that's an area that I can kind of like relate it to. And then I can kind of, but that is exactly the thing that I'm needing to work on right now.
And there's a feeling of it. There are not very good words to describe this experience of using this energy that, you know, I just went away from it now, but it's that, you know, using that subtle influence as opposed to the, you know, they're both valuable.
Right.
Masculine way is just the way we've all been taught, is the, you know, and in our society, it's the way most people listen to. People are not good listeners in general, overall. Like, I mean, and it's because we're all overwhelmed and stressed out to the, you know, like I'm not criticizing anyone for their listening skills, because it's difficult to be a good listener.
And when you don't have good listeners around you, it's hard to learn to be a good listener too. And then everybody's trying to crowd out everyone else, and you have to
competition
speak up out of turn in order to even be heard. So
So it's just a rebalancing of this energy in all areas.
Right.
And it, you know, and it's not a quick fix. It's not I'm going to check these boxes and do these exercises, and then my feminine energy will be online and we'll be ready to go. Like, it's not that experience at all, you know, unfortunately.
It's just navigating situations. Right. Yeah, no, it's just navigating those situations and experiencing them in a new way and just being conscious of it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So anybody that wants to learn how to follow on the social dance floor, I highly recommend it, because it will teach you so much about yourself.
You know, you just reminded me that I had gotten this Groupon for ballroom dancing lessons, and I kept calling them, and I never got a return phone call. And my Groupon ended up expiring, but I'm going to look back into that, because I've been wanting to do dance lessons, and so I might look out there and see what's available again, so that I can do that, because it really is such a good practice for learning to be in that feminine energy and
In
learning to just
the
release
moment.
to it. Yes, and
Yeah.
presence, which I'm also working on right now.
Yes.
So,
And I can't tell you how many times I danced with a beginner who couldn't stay on the beat, didn't know what to do, but I was just confidently like trying to follow as best I could, but also enjoying myself and staying on the beat and, you know, confidently being the example, right? Of like, this is how you do it, you know, and it's okay if you get off the beat. We'll start over again, you know, and like whatever.
right.
And that just that experience was so interesting to see, you know, because I was used to the other way of like, no, wait, stop the music. Okay, now we have to like fix this. And, you know, but it was about being playful. And in the moment, it was about being playful. That was
Which,
another.
yes, that's
Yes.
another feminine energy
And
that.
dancing always brings that out, right?
Yeah.
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 Yes.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that.
Uh-huh. Well,
Yeah.
Wednesday nights, we've made a commitment to be there on Wednesday nights so that we can, we're just wanting to get some more exercise and
Yeah.
enjoy something that we enjoy doing together. But
Well, that's a good idea.
Lots of friends are.
That's a good idea because that'll lighten everything and just release some stress. And yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like, it's better. I don't know. To me, it's better exercise just because it's not so like serious. Like, I got to go work out. I got to, you know, like, it's like, I'm going to go have fun.
Right.
You know, yeah. It's an interesting experience, but it's super fun. And it really taught me a lot for sure about relationships and about embodying that feminine energy. And, you know, and it was so interesting because all I was really focusing on was the mindful part of it. Like I noticed, oh, wow, I have a hard time staying in the moment and listening to these, you know, nonverbal commands that you get when you're dancing. And it was years later that, you know, I was learning about the masculine and the feminine energy. And I was like, oh my God, that's what swing dancing helped me learn to do too. Right.
Yeah.
Not just be in the moment, but embody that feminine energy in a different way than nobody taught me how to do that. Nobody.
It's really,
ever. Yeah.
And it's difficult to do. Like when I took swing dancing and it was kind of mixed with some ballroom dancing lessons in my early 20s. And it was so difficult for me to just let go and follow and to stay present. It was so difficult. And I didn't take the lessons for very long and it was fun. But so, yeah, when I started working with this balancing masculine and feminine, I was like, oh, I need to go dance. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, as a practice, I recommend it for
Yeah.
lots of reasons.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So I was just thinking, the most appropriate practice for Heather is to do some balances that come from this reading. So I think I'll send you the text and I'll look and see if there's anything interesting. I think we said it was kind of similar. It was not super different word choice on these. But
I don't think anything struck me as super.
I'll take a picture of these too. Okay. And then you can, you know, look at it and see what jumps out for like, oh yeah, I really need to balance something about that. Like whatever, being in that, you know, whatever space that comes up when you're reading it, you know, and doing a balance on that moving line too. The one about the son striving to deal with inherited problems wins praise and support and will not be blamed for the situation. So that's like a forgiveness one, right? Like, you know, I forgive myself and others for all of the, you know, mistakes made in the past. Like, just because this is all about, right, starting new, not making the same mistakes, doing a couple balances just on releasing those old mistakes.
Yeah, I think for me, definitely, I definitely need to release, because I think that a lot of the browbeating that I give myself over being irresponsible for ignoring what I don't want in the scarcity around, you know, life in general.
Right.
And trying to move past that, you know, I keep getting that sort of like, I haven't been getting it as much because we've done some work around it, but just, I think that I need to release some guilt around the way that I've handled finances in the past,
Oh
the way
yeah.
that definitely. The decisions
Relationships
that
with
I've
your
made.
kids,
Yeah.
and every mother needs to do some balances about, I forgive myself for the, and then every couple of years do it again. I forgive
Right.
myself for all of the, whatever, stress
Yeah.
that I've caused my kids, like whatever. That's
Yeah.
a part of
Yeah.
life.
Right.
But we just still do need to consciously release that because we
Yeah.
internalize and hold that in so much. All right, so I'm writing down do some balances on the I Ching reading. I'm just going to write down forgiveness. The self-forgiveness is huge for all the mistakes made in the past. And then the next time we get together, write down what statements you use that you come up with from the text out of
Oh, I
here.
was supposed to give you an update on, we'll do that right after we finish this. I was supposed to give you an update on my clearing processes from which I did have huge things happen and we just totally glossed over it. And we were supposed to review that and we totally forgot.
I don't know. I'm
From
not
the last
from the, oh, wait, from the last
Because
one or from the first one?
well, from the other video that we did, the only other video that we did.
Well, we have two different ones because there's the first hour and then there's the other 2 hours.
Well, yeah, but we did it all in one setting though. Like we broke it up, but we did it in one setting. But
I'm confused about what part you're talking about, so we'll just delete this part and then we'll let's finish.
we can
Let's
delete
finish
the part we're figuring it out. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So back to doing some balances on the I Ching reading, forgiveness of yourself and others for all the past mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I was saying, write down the statements
my
that
statement.
come up, that you come up with, and then we can muscle test and see if there's anything else from that reading that you need to finish with before we move on to the next, whatever's next.
Okay. Yeah, no, you had just said all of those clearing statements that I had from the last set that we did. You were saying to just discuss, the process and any resistance that I had to them, and all of that stuff when we do this video today, and just kind of share that process and any shifts that I had or whatever, which we didn't do.
Do you mean from the beginning or from the end of the last videos we made?
This was for the ones that I did on the homework. This was to update on the ones that I did for homework that were not on the video, to update everyone because they're not privy to my process or anything that I experienced.
I just don't remember like what we were supposed to talk about, but that's okay. Let's finish this one.
Yeah.
Again, we'll just delete what we just did, and so we'll just wrap this one up, and then I'll get clear on that after we stop.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So, I think you're clear on homework.
Yeah.
Just doing some balances from the I Ching. Okay. So I've written it all out. I'll send it all to you.
Okay.
And then we'll make plans for next time.
Sounds good.